Judge just allowed Elon to do whatever he wants. Oh, that sounds good. Judge denies request to temporarily block Doge's mass firings, access to data. Yeah, he's already been doing whatever he wants. I feel like, I don't know if a ruling in either direction here would have made a difference. Still bad. Federal judge in Washington on Tuesday denied an urgent request to block Elon and the Department of Government Efficiency from firing employees or accessing sensitive records from half a dozen government agencies. Tanya Chutkan, hello, who previously oversaw Donald Trump's criminal election interference case, said the states didn't show that immediate irreparable harm would result, noting that the court cannot act based on media reports. What? Plaintiffs ask the court to take judicial notice of widespread media reports that Doge has taken or will soon take certain actions, such as mass terminations. But these reports cannot substitute for specific facts in an affidavit or verified complaint that clearly show that immediate irreparable injury, loss, or damage will occur, Judge Chutkan wrote. What? Okay, so fully just trying not to get, like, ousted by Trump. Like, they can provide the information in whatever format they want. This is a bullshit deference to a procedural problem when in reality the judge is just like stonewalling the request. I think they say they can only prosecute if they have tangible proof of wrongdoing. First of all, it's a temporary block, not a full prosecution. Like, there are different, you can stay behavior while looking into it, you know? Judges do have the authority to do that. Furthermore, this is again, like, it's a bullshit procedural argument. You're essentially saying, you know, oh, well, you filed the wrong paperwork. Like, you know, you're presenting this information in the form of media reports, not in the form that I would prefer. You have to prove damages, but the damages have happened and have been proven. Like, it's an insincere procedural complaint. Describing the state's request for temporary restraining order as prophylactic, Judge Chutkan expressed skepticism during a hearing Monday about issuing a wide-reaching order while the plaintiffs struggled to prove a concrete harm stemming from Doge's conduct. Struggled to prove? Maybe in her eyes, kind of normalizing the ruling there. The courts can't act based on media reports. We can't do that, Chutkan said. The things I'm hearing are concerning and troubling indeed, but I have to have a record and I have to make a finding on the facts before I issue something. I have to make a finding on the facts before I do. Again, bullshit proceduralism. You understand. The judge said that in order to issue such an urgent temporary restraining order, the states would have to prove a threat of extreme and imminent harm that can't be done. Okay, so is it a threat of extreme or imminent harm? Or is it struggling to prove a concrete harm? Can it be in the future? Does it have to be now? Does the harm have to be current? Because there is current harm and there is future harm. And although having to scramble to rehire laid-off employees might be difficult and challenging, it can be done. What bar are we trying to clear here? Gutting the federal workforce isn't a threat of extreme and imminent harm that can't be okay, you can rehire employees, but the damage that is done during their absence can't be undone. Like, this is like saying, like, there's no irreparable harm introduced to removing fire hydrants from an establishment because you can always put fire hydrants back in. Okay, well, what if a fire happens when you don't have a fire hydrant in? Sorry, not fire hydrant, fire extinguisher. And you don't have a fire extinguisher. That's not reparable. I'm not seeing it so far, she said of the harms the plaintiffs are claiming. Bullshit. Chutkan, however, sharply questioned why the government's lawyers appeared to have few details about Doge's overall conduct, including the number of firings across the federal government to date. Shouldn't that be, I don't know, a little alarming? The fact that there's so little oversight over what Doge is doing, that the government lawyers that are defending Doge in court can't even provide a concrete number of people who have been fired? Like, is that not itself, like, indicative of harm? Like the gutting of transparency? Wait, it's Tanya Chutkan again? Yes, of course it is. The firing of thousands of federal employees is not a small or common thing. You haven't been able to confirm that? Chutkan asked the attorneys. I think it will be very relevant to me to know whether thousands of federal employees have been terminated on Friday. Chutkan noted what she called Doge's unpredictable and scattershot tactics made it hard for the state attorneys to prove a concrete, immediate harm, though she acknowledged the seriousness of the allegations levied by the state attorneys general. Doge appears to be moving in no sort of predictable or orderly fashion, Chutkan said. This is essentially a private citizen directing an organization that's not a federal agency to have access to the entire workings of the federal government, hire, fire, / contract, terminate programs, all without any congressional oversight. She's acknowledging this, and she's still denying the harm. That is the harm. They've already illegally accessed sensitive data. Social security information, private information on every American with no security clearances. There's no, like, all of this is already being done extra legally. The state's lawsuit is one of at least 73 suits that have been filed challenging Trump's executive actions in his first month back in office, with many of them resulting in temporary restraining orders, which, by the way, they haven't been following. Like there are judges that have issued restraining orders, and the Trump administration is ignoring them. They're just proceeding anyway. Over the last week, courts have ruled Doge is temporarily barred from accessing sensitive Treasury data information and payment systems, that agencies must maintain public health data, must restore their websites and databases, that the State Department must pause the implementation of Trump's sweeping 90-day foreign aid freeze. Yeah, but these aren't happening. Dismantling the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, National Institute of Health. The president and his allies like Musk and J.D. Vance have begun floating the idea of pushing back on the courts. I really appreciate MSN like kowtowing to the fascists here. What Musk and J.D. Vance have actually said is that all judges who oppose them should be impeached and or arrested. Pushing back on the courts. He who saves his country does not violate any law, Trump wrote on social media over the weekend. Just dropped casually, you know. Do you think they're going to get rid of the SEC? Nah, the SEC is largely bought and captured anyway. The rules that they keep together are largely to the benefit of the big players in the stock market. Like that's already a captured agency. I mean, they might like deregulate a little bit, but I don't. They need that shit. Vosh granting a TRO on media accounts, even if factually and morally the correct choice, would risk setting the precedent for Republicans to go after anyone with Fox News reports evidence. Axelioni, how can you possibly still be doing that if we do a thing, they'll use it as precedent argument when they're literally like raping the country right now? Like they've already done everything illegally and there's no pushback at all. They've done everything they want and they're going to keep doing it. And the courts that have tried to stop them, they just ignore. Like they don't need precedent for anything. There's no precedent to any of this. They're just doing it, you know? Damn, you're right, I did it. Damn, I feel appalled. Well, it's okay. What matters is that we're all bringing our voices to the table. No! He wants to escape. No! 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 Wiggle.
Look at her heart-shaped bean.
Look at her bean. Look at her heart-shaped bean. See? On her feet. Hello. Yeah, escape. Okay. There we go. Freedom.